and gentlemen, first we're gonna watch the video of Paco Morales' life background as a chef.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for attending this WIEF event in its 12th edition. And thank you also for attending this halal cooking session. My name is Jesús Ramirez, and I usually cooperate with Paco Morales, with the chef Paco Morales, in different areas. Today, as his translator, I'll try to do my best. We landed in Jakarta all the way from Spain, which is, as you all know, very close to Indonesia. In the next minutes, we're going to be talking about one of the world's best representatives of halal cuisine, the first ever Michelin Star Chef specialized in halal haute cuisine, Paco Morales, and his life project named Noor.
Yeah.
All of that will be accompanied with some of the main Muslim contributions to the European civilization and the world. Later we will continue with a brief explanation about cooking one of the delicacies that can be tasted at the Noor restaurant, and as well as a live halal haute cooking demo conducted by the chef Paco Morales. And finally, as a novelty for this forum, we are going to anticipate and about to finalize Sweet project, in which Paco Morales is also involved with Noor. And this project consists of a 100% natural halal energy bar, which will be handed over to you to taste. And this bar was left in Spain by the Muslims more than 1,000 years ago. And believe us, its recipe has been kept intact. This bar, named Alfajor, was even used by the renowned conqueror Cristobal Columbus in the discovery and conquest of the American continent. So it's really a nice thing. And thanks to Noor, the most iconic sweet Muslim product, the Alfajor is going to be revitalized, food in value, certified halal, and marketed with a new wrapping and packing presentation. And we'll have all that finished in 3 months. So now the cover that you will see is just a draft. So let's see, returning to the first point about Paco Morales and his project Noor, let's start by understanding what Noor means. And let's see. What's Noor? In the Arab language, Noor, which is pronounced Nor, means light. Light understood as a spiritual light, not a light from a light bulb. This light from the Arab culture left an indelible mark in the Spanish society and the Spanish cuisine after 800 years of Muslim domination. Such a long time from the 8th century to the 15th century left sorry. Such a long time from the 8th century to the 15th century of our era also served to masterly summarize the flavor of all the other great Mediterranean cuisine cultures that inhabit the Andalusian cuisine. I'm talking about Iberians, Celts, Tartessus, Carthaginians, Phoenicians, Romans, and Visigoths. The project Noor, which is located in Cordoba, the capital of the Muslim Spain, embraces all of that by building a creative space of researching, developing and reinterpreting the refined cuisine that the Muslims were able to reach, applying the results to a groundbreaking manner of cooking and serving. So what Noor wants to mean is an evolution about the best of the most modern cooking. But how and why was Paco Morales inspired by the culture of Al-Andalus? Okay, as you can see in presentation, he was working for more than 20 years with the best chefs in the world. I'm talking about Ferran Adrià or Andoni Luis Aduriz, and learned from them and inspired from them. He was interested in looking for his own way of cooking, and in 2013 he became interested in learning more about the most important culture that graced his city of Cordoba before and now Cordoba. And this city, this culture was the Muslim culture. Like I said before, for 800 years, Cordoba was the lighthouse of the West society for many reasons, among which some of them are following important discoveries given to us by this culture. The first one is the paper. The Arabs, on one of their many incursions to the east, took some Chinese paper-making technicians prisoner in Samarkand, the present Uzbekistan, and demanding they pass on their knowledge on how to make it. The invention of paper is connected to the compass, which is also from China. They discovered that cellulose in plant cells, which forms the basis of paper, point north when they float on water. All that needs to be done then is to take the layers out of the water and leave them on some felt so they can dry out. That was how paper was born. Paper is the main element which made the invention of the printing press possible, a debt that we have with the Arabs, which we as Europeans do not recognize as of today. Also the texts of the great classical Greek and Roman authors. They brought with them all of their scientific, philosophical, and humanistic knowledge from the great sages of history, translated into Arabic. Although monasteries in the peninsula preserved much of the classical knowledge, it was this inheritance from the Arabs which returned it all to Europe.
Perdona, comenta un poco que es muy importante Nosotros antes de meternos a hacer nur, es muy importante saber los hitos que habían traído los musulmanes a la península y sobre todo concretamente a Andalucía. Yo creo que porque entiendan el porqué, ¿no? Contamos estos hitos, ¿no?
We're talking about these
Muy
landmarks
importante.
because before they came into the peninsula, the Muslims, we didn't have anything of these 20 points, and they really changed our culture, and they gave us the opportunity to develop and become more like not a medieval country, but a country of the Renaissance.
Yeah.
And another point, the classical culinary knowledge. As you know, the Arabs come from neighboring areas to where Mediterranean cuisine was born. That's Mesopotamia or the Middle East in general. So in their incursions towards the north and east, the Arabs learned these basics from the Roman Empire of the East. When they arrived in Western Europe, they introduced this understanding of cooking both in Spain and southern Italy. It was much more refined and modern in all respects than the cooking of the Visigoths. In addition, they also brought with them the most refined idea of table service. Unbelievably, which they had learned from the Persians, but unbelievably, we didn't have that table service idea. Sugar cane and refined sugar, for example.
Muy importante el hito del refinamiento del azúcar.
The cultivation of sugar cane was brought from India.
La primera gran industria, ¿no?
The first great industry. There were plantations in Andalusia together with what we call later refineries, in which the press for the cane was made in the same way as the olive press used by the Romans. But what's really important is that the Arabs of Egypt and other villages in the Mediterranean and Eurasia regions, such as the Persians, found a way to refine sugar sometime between the 6th and the 9th centuries. They were able to make it white. Before, it wasn't white. This refined sugar would be crucial to the development of confectionery. And it was called candiel, which gave rise to the word candy. It comes from that. Another Muslim contribution, the long grain rice. This was, make sure, this was brought from India and formed part of the cultivation, using waterlogging and draining. In addition, this white delicacy was cooked in a similar way to the pilaf and pilau for Eurasia. This would later have a great influence on the use of rice in the puchero Spanish growth. They also cooked it with milk and sugar, a dessert brought from the Indus Valley, where both crops originated from. Lemons and cider. They arrived before the oranges thanks to the Arabs, as they are mentioned already in the Treaty of the Foods, Kitab al-Adiyya, from Abu Marwan ibn Zur, in the 12th century already. The Poncil lemon and the citrus fruit in Spain probably has its origins in this fruit. Bitter oranges.
Es importante, en nuestro barrio, en Córdoba, en Cañero, está todo lleno de naranja amarga.
Yeah, in where Nur, the restaurant Nur is located, there are all bitter oranges trees all around the restaurant, and all the streets are full of these trees.
Era muy importante para mí, antes de ponernos a cocinar, aunar el resto de disciplinas: historia, arqueología, sociólogos, traductores.
To gather all of that, the trees, the history, the technicians, historians, all of them were making possible and are making possible Nur and his project.
Cocineros,
cooks,
y restaurantes en el mundo hay muy buenos, buenísimos.
Cooks and
muchos.
There are very good ones everywhere.
Restaurantes con corazón, con alma, que cuenten más de solo cocinar o comer, hay muy pocos.
Yeah. Restaurants with soul and really the intention of doing things better are only a few ones.
Por eso hemos escarbado en nuestra historia en nuestras raíces, en nuestros orígenes y sacar a la luz todo lo bueno, ¿no?, de aquella época, ¿no?
Yeah, and that's why we are working in the history and the roots of the best culture that graced this city of Cordoba.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, bitter oranges was done, then distillation or alembic. One thing, sweet oranges. Everybody can wonder, and what about the sweet oranges? They came from Portugal in the 15th century. It's interesting. They weren't there before. Distillation or alembic. This invention was developed in China and then came to the peninsula around the 9th century, again, thanks to the Arabs. It was used for distilling all types of substances for pharmaceutical uses. In fact, some North African people still use it to paint their eyes. Thanks to the development of this device, in Spain, the alchemists of the Spanish Arabic kingdoms were able to isolate a substance of which they knew a lot about, but they hadn't been able to produce with the techniques they had up until that time. This is alcohol, which became known throughout all the world with the Spanish Arabic word col. Besides having its pharmaceutical uses, distilled alcohol and alcoholic drinks would be fundamental in all the culinary culture in Europe and around the world. Zero and the numbers. The number 0 was an invention from India, also brought by the Arabs to Spain. The Arabs found out in their incursions towards the east and later introduced it into our world. It would revolutionize science of mathematicians and physicists. In Europe, the Mediterranean and the north of Africa, it was not known. The concept of nothing could not be imagined. Of what is not. That's what 0 is, nothing. It's a huge qualitative gap in the human mind. They also brought the numbers which we use today. Algebra, they learned this from the wise Persians. They introduced it with the Spanish Arabic name by which it is now known throughout Europe. It's one of the branches of science which has proved essential for the development of all sciences. You know, algebra is generally speaking the use of symbols and the rules for manipulating those symbols. Before that, we were only using numbers, so it was really a huge gap for Spanish and Europeans. La alquería. What's alquería? It's a concept of agricultural unit with the amount of land required to produce the food necessary for the inhabitants of the village, to produce surplus of sale or for bartering. All this is achieved without the need to overexploit the land. Actually, as of today, the only alquerías remain on foot are used for hotels or for wealthy families that remoderated them. One of the main important ones, this cabicha. Muslim people of Spain did not drink wine. Obviously, they are Muslims, but they produced significant quantities of vinegar and added raisins to their food in great quantities. Among their culinary inventions, which stand out the most, we have this cabicha, which has an Arab name.
Como conservante.
Sickback.
Como conservante.
It's it's a conservation method to preserve food eatable for longer. That's the main goal of scavenging things. Marzipan is a confection consisting primarily of sugar or honey and almond meal. In Spain, it's a traditional Christmas sweet, but in Toledo, a city located just to the south of Madrid, the capital, is consumed all year round. When the Arabs arrived with refined sugar, the invention was easy to create, obviously. Macaroni
Okay, macaroni also, although it's more than likely that the Spanish Arabs call macaroni fideos, from which we get fideo, this is how it appeared in several Spanish Arabic texts. Hollow pasta is a Muslim invention made with a type of like those used in Italy today. The fideos used in the popular dish fideuà are hollow in the center and are called fideos, when they're really just macaroni. There are many recipes to be found in the books of the 13th century of macaroni with meat, similar to dishes made in Andalusia and Sicily today. Waterwheel, this is another important one. The wheels with buckets to extract water is an invention by the Arabs. They are powered by the force of water, the current water itself, without the need for any external energy supply, which would have involved animals or people at that time. And related to the water wheel, irrigation systems and drains. They improved the ways of transporting water, following on from those which were engineered by the Romans. This is why ways of transporting water all have Arabic names. They also brought about a huge improvement for irrigation in the drier regions of Spain. The wheel, it's about the same thing that the water wheel, but to take advantage of the tidal energy and the waves, they were able to design wheels which made the most of the tidal energy and waves in mills and other plants. The Almazara mill, very extended in the olive oil industry. It comes, the word Almazara comes from Almazara or Al-Saha Fa. It's easy to tell from the name of this invention for extracting oil who the inventors were. Although in our times there are other extraction methods. Also, they came with a predecessor to what we call today the puff pastry. Puff pastry, it's the process for rolling out a dough smeared with butter, rolling it up, and then stretching it out again. However, nowadays we frequently use lard. It's from the pig, which is still fat just like butter. And finally, aubergines. We could say that aubergines are the Mediterranean vegetable par excellence. It arrived thanks to the Arabs from India, its place of origin. In our Christian countries, it was a little underused until the middle of the 20th century, as it was seen as Jewish and Moorish. Okay, but let's remember that we are talking about Noor and the ways it inspired and drank from history.
Muy importante contar y explicar que después de casi 15 años estar viviendo fuera de Córdoba, de Andalucía,
After 15 years of living outside Córdoba, his home city,
entendía que tenía que volver a mi ciudad y mirar con otros ojos, ¿no? O sea, mi tierra, mi ciudad, ¿no?
He knew that he would come back to his home city eventually and recoup all the best of it.
Con lo cual hice el ejercicio como un niño pequeño de intentar ver y descubrir todos los rincones, cada uno de ellos, tanto Madinat al-Sahara, Mezquita de Córdoba.
Actually, he became interested in learning more about this great culture that inhabited this city
y aprender de todo el pozo, ¿no? de conocimiento, ¿no? que hubo en aquel momento y traducirlo de una manera actual, ¿no? y contemporánea, ¿no?
And learn all this great culinary knowledge that was impregnating the city of Córdoba,
It was once the most important city in the Western Hemisphere.
Sí, retorno a los orígenes.
Yeah. You can see he was returning to the roots, to his roots, after 15 years.
Es importante hacerlo en mi barrio, donde yo nací.
And it's important to have done it in the area of the city that he was born at.
Podíamos hacerlo en Madrid, en Barcelona, en otra ciudad grande o más importante, aparentemente, pero entendíamos que era muy importante hacerlo donde realmente pasó todo aquello, ¿no?
Yeah, he's saying that he could have done it in any other city, Madrid, Barcelona, more important cities, but he understood that he had to do it in Córdoba, his home city, and recoup all this great culture of the Muslims.
Muy importante reinterpretar el pasado, ¿no?
Reinterpreting the past with a lot of effort.
Ya, mucho esfuerzo.
Selecting and researching.
Después de mucho I+D, ¿no? Privado, ¿no? Todo es a pulmón. Muchas horas de investigación, de estudio, de prueba-error, mucho.
A lot of effort, research, investigation, living the excellence, eating history,
trabajando
working the crafts, as
Yeah.
you can see on the pictures.
importante con los artesanos de la ciudad, del metal, del cuero, del vidrio,
Yeah.
¿no?
Also using all the traditional art crafts that are still working in this city. You can see some of the utensils used in Nur at the restaurant.
Viviendo un poco la
That's right.
excelencia, el camino de la excelencia, ¿no?
Yeah, and looking for the excellence.
Estamos 20 personas para 8 mesas nada más.
Yeah, pay attention. The restaurant is able to feed only 25 people, 25 diners, with only 8 tables. And probably the average of workers is 15 or 20 workers for 20 diners.
Con lo cual no es un negocio rentable.
Yeah,
No ganamos dinero
you
ahí.
may understand that from my words that this business is not profitable. You work with 20 people for 20 diners. It doesn't make sense.
Vendemos historia, vendemos cultura,
Yeah, we sell history, culture, and work abroad, and that's the reason why we are here today.
Antes en la ciudad de Córdoba no podías comerte la historia,
Yeah, before
solo verla,
before there were projects like this in Córdoba.
tocarla en algún caso, no siempre, ¿no?
Yeah, and now we have this opportunity to visit Córdoba and the project Nur, the restaurant. It's really something special.
Pero no comerla, ¿no? Es importante. Comer la historia, ¿no? El eating
Yeah,
history, ¿no?
And for those interested in going there, you will be able to eat the history now.
Por eso hemos
Córdoba.
recuperado recetas de la época, del momento, siglo X,
Yeah,
y le hemos interpretado, ¿eh?
yeah,
No exacto.
we've recouped some recipes from those history books from the Arabs and reinterpret those dishes that can be tasted at the new restaurant today.
El refinamiento,
The refining of the Muslims was incredible. You will see now some of the monuments that can be visited in Córdoba.
es más, cocina tradicional francesa, que es una de las cocinas mundiales reconocidas como una de las mejores cocinas del mundo, beben mucho, se alimentan mucho de la cocina de Al-Andalus de aquel momento. Estamos descubriendo los hojaldres, muchas elaboraciones, muchos platos que los franceses lo hacen suyo y parece que ellos han creado, pero todo viene de toda esta cultura de este momento.
Yeah, he's saying that even though the French are so renowned in terms of culinary culture, they are actually drinking from the Al-Andalus culture, the Muslim culture, and they have their own plates, their own dishes, but in fact they are drinking from this culture, the Muslim culture, and the Islamic cuisine of Al-Andalus.
Okay.
History. Okay, before I was talking about one of the main monuments in Cordoba. Here is one of them, the city of Medina Sahara. This city is a palace, it's a city palace. It's still being measured. We don't still know how big it was. We know it's big, very big, but there are still many people studying the size of this city. It was built and founded in the 936 of our era by Abderrahman III, and for some reasons in history it was almost destroyed. But on the other hand, we have the Mosque of Cordoba. The Mosque of Cordoba, to realize how important this monument is, there are a couple of points that you should bear in mind. It was the world's second largest mosque in the world, the second largest mosque after the Mecca Mosque, until the Blue Mosque from Turkey was built in 1588. So pay attention to its importance. The Mosque of Cordoba started its construction as a mosque in the year 785 of our era, and it is regarded as one of the most accomplished monuments of Moorish architecture and one of the most visited in Spain, along with the Alhambra and another one in Barcelona.
Vale, importante cómo nos hemos inspirado en los patrones de la Puerta del Perdón.
Yeah, for example,
para crear
the door of forgiveness
un snack
was an inspiration to create another dish. You can see the tool used for it.
Con almendra tierna, perejil.
They recreate some food to present this as a historical dish, for example, from the Mosque of Cordoba.
Siempre de una manera contemporánea y reinterpretada.
Yeah, always considering that this is a recreation, a presently recreation of what it was before. They used to do these kinds of dishes.
Cada vez que hago un plato en el restaurante, lo como comensal y cómo sería en aquel momento el plato. O sea, de Ramán III viviera o alguien de aquel momento, ¿cómo comería?
Yeah.
¿Y cómo le servirían?
He says every time he works on a new dish, he tries to evoke that era, those times, and think about the way they used to eat, and recreate and become a diner to feel the way you are going to feel when you go to the restaurant or eat at a restaurant managed by Noor, the Noor project.
Esto es masa brick, que puedes traducir como masa brick, pasta brick, que hacemos casera en casa y
This is handmade pasta.
Que conocerán seguramente la pasta brick.
Pasta brick or
Yeah.
brick pasta.
Brick pasta, ya. Siguiendo con el concepto, queríamos recrear también las infusiones o las bebidas inocentes, las innocent drinks.
Yeah, We wanted also to recreate some of the infusions or drinks that they usually had back in that time.
Con aromas a clavo, lirio,
With cloves,
rosas, naranja,
aromatics, rose and roses and ¿qué más?
Naranja, amarga,
Orange and
yeah,
all those flavors.
flores
back
de
in
naranja amarga.
those times.
Yeah.
Eh,
Hasta los trajes de equipo de sala son diferentes también. Entendíamos que había que hacer algo diferente y actual.
even the workers that are working in the restaurant wear a type of clothing that recreates that era.
Creemos que a día de hoy no solo un restaurante, sino crear una experiencia, con lo cual creemos mucho en la experiencia global, ¿no? Muy importante. Comida, bebida, espacio,
It's not
arquitectura,
only, yeah, it's
todo.
not only a matter of eating there, but a recreation. You must feel inside that time, from the way they wear the clothes, the way they serve it, they serve the food, and the decoration area and everything. Noor is inspired by the Muslims and by the Islamic Spain from the period of the 8th century to the 15th century.
Vamos a explicar brevemente un plato,
Now we're going to explain
el karim,
how to make a karim,
Que-
which is one of the delicacies that can be tasted at Noor.
no hemos podido traer el plato para hacerlo,
Yeah, we haven't been able to bring all the ingredients,
muchos kilómetros,
many kilometers
y
away.
no íbamos a hacer plato real. Hay personas en el público que ya han estado en Noor, de España
There are some people that have already tasted
y de Malasia,
some dishes from Noor. They have been there at the Noor restaurant.
que si se animan pueden describir el plato, si les apetece.
That,
Se-
that can also explain the dish if they wanted to, because they
You,
have tried
you
it.
remember the play? ¿Ya? Gilén, ¿te animas a explicar el plato en inglés? ¿Tomás? ¿No? Otro día, ¿no? Ok. Ok, ya lo explico yo, dile. Lo explicas
Yeah,
tú.
he'll be the one
Ya lo
explaining
explicas. Ok. Bueno, es una receta muy sencilla y en caso de que estéis interesados
it. It's
en
a
hacerla,
very simple recipe,
nos comprometemos a pasarla al WIEF para que les haga llegar.
and in case you're interested in making it, we'll send it to we'll send information to the WIEF and
Yeah.
anybody who can.
Siempre que la hagan en casa
Contact us.
y que no monte un restaurante como el nuestro.
As long as you don't compete with us and try to make anything similar.
Exactly. Okay. Bueno, es muy sencillo. Como bien pone la receta, intentábamos hacer un plato que reflejara el refinamiento de Al-Andalus de aquel momento, ¿no? Del siglo X, que es el año en el que, perdón, el siglo en el que hemos tematizado el primer año de Noor, ¿no?
Yeah, as we were talking before, with this dish, we are trying to recreate the 10th century. It's actually a thematic way of working. This time is the 10th century. Next year will be the 11th century, ¿no?
Ya, exacto. Entonces, nos apetecía mucho utilizar la mazamorra, la crema de almendra y pan que se suele hacer, que es de origen romano, por el tema cultural importante.
We started using the almond cream, which was actually invented by the Romans,
Y sustituimos la almendra en este caso por el piñón.
and substituted the almond by the piñon nuts,
Ya. El melón
the melon,
con diferentes especias que nos traen del desierto, del norte de África.
with different species that come from the north of Africa.
Cardamomo, comino, cinnamon, comín, cardamón, una mezcla de diferentes especias.
Mixture of different species.
Cuidado, nada de Nuevo Mundo.
Yeah, nothing from the New World.
No tomate.
Remember that when the Muslims were let's say when the domination of the Muslim Spain came to its end, that was in 1492, and back in that time, the discovery of America wasn't still there, so we didn't have anything from the New World, and we're talking about the tomato, potato,
cacao.
chocolate. We didn't use chocolate. We didn't have chocolate. It
Yeah.
came from the New World. So at the New restaurant,
Algarroba.
you can't try
Yeah.
anything from the New World.
El carrop, la algarroba. El carrop es lo que utilizamos.
Carrot, yeah. So it's important to know this.
Ok. Vale, vamos a hacer un breve plato. Vamos a tardar 2 minutos nada más. Con jengibre, cúrcuma fresca y pak choi, acelga. Es muy simple.
Okay, he's going to make a very simple dish, a vegetable
Yeah.
dish, halal vegetable dish,
Ya.
and it'll be very easy, 2 minutes.
Que tenemos pak choi, que conocen perfectamente, o
That's pak
acelga,
choi.
ok.
You can recognize it, it's everywhere.
Hemos cortado
You cut, you
de
cut it,
pak choi crudo, sin saltear.
yeah. Raw pak choy.
Ya. Vamos a poner hoja de pak choi,
He's going to use the pak choy leaf,
un poco
little bit.
de hoja. En breve vamos con las preguntas y respuestas, Jesús, por quien quiera preguntar, por si quiere decir. Vamos a cortar bien fina la hoja, sin saltear, cruda. Ok. Le faltaría un pequeño caldo que podríamos hacer de algún pescado o cecina. Utilizamos una parte de la ternera en España que se llama cecina, la ahuman y es halal, es bastante interesante, tiene tonos ahumados y tonos bastante curiosos. Le haría falta aquí un caldo, problema que no hemos podido traer la cecina, por tema de aduana y demás. Ya. Vamos a poner un poco de jengibre, lámina,
We're going to use a bit more of
2 láminas.
ginger and cut it in slices.
Ya. Y por último, la galanga o cúrcuma, un poco.
And finally, he's cutting the
Cúrcuma fresca no han podido conseguir. Creo que galanga. Galanga. Sí, puedes decir galanga y está bien.
galanda. That's galanda.
Galanda.
Galanda. It's also cutting it into slices.
Y este sería un poco la tapa, más que plato, tapa andalusí en este caso. Ha faltado un caldo, ¿eh? ¿Qué le haría
It would
falta?
be- this is like a tapa, not a dish.
Yes,
It's
una
a
tapa andalusí.
vegetable salad.
Es exacto, ok. ¿Alguna pregunta? ¿Ve? Ah, vale, pues sigue con un alfajor.
Let's explain something.
Tenemos 7 minutos, sí, 12. Nos da tiempo, ¿no?
Sí.
Sí.
Please, can I have somebody
¿De alfajor?
giving away
Please,
alcohol?
¿ya?
Please.
Dile que tenemos una sorpresa ahora.
We have a little surprise for all of you.
Dile que eres un poco tímido. Yo no, tú. Di. Tienes que traducirme, ¿eh? Di, soy un poco tímido.
Eso no lo voy a decir.
¿En inglés? ¿Tímido cómo es? Sorry?
Shy.
Shy. Jesús is shy.
He's Simon shy, but he's not.
Okay.
Anyways, this
Mira,
that is being
mira, ve,
away
Voy
handed
repartiendo
over
yo
to
también.
all of you
It's okay.
is the alfajor. The alfajor is a sweet
You're welcome.
confection
Hi.
from the Muslim Spain.
Hi.
As I was saying before, let's
You're welcome. Hi.
can I have the presentation, please? I need the presentation, please.
Sí, ¿qué tal? Sí, claro. No sé si darte a ti uno. Tú.
Okay, the alfajor from Medina Sidonia is one of the oldest sweet confections from the old continent. The first documentary evidence that we have of its presence is from the 15th century, when the 2nd of July of 1487, Enrique de Guzman sent a letter to the Duke of Medina,
Okay.
stating that the alfajor was an unquestionable delicacy. Medina Sidonia, which is located in the south of Spain, was a capital of the Andalusian confectionery world, and the fame of its alfajores was not limited
Jesús,
to borders.
disculpa. Comenta qué es el esto porque están preguntando.
Yeah, you
Que abran,
please-
¿no?
You please proceed to open the parchment. Be
Yeah.
careful because it could break, but it won't. And if it breaks, nothing happens. Just break it. Open it up and read read the text.
Diré que prueben, ¿no?
Yeah, and please taste the alfajor, of course. You will taste something that was made 1,000 years ago or more. And the recipe, it's unbelievable, but the recipe has been kept intact, as I was saying before.
Today we are fasting.
This sweet
Yes.
product
At 7 p.m. we will eat.
has
Okay.
the most
Okay, okay.
powerful
Okay.
story
Okay.
in
Thank you.
Spain and probably in Europe. It's considered the
¿Qué tal?
world's
Hay que probar,
oldest
el
energy
alfajor.
bar,
Hay que probarlo, ¿eh?
which is a lot to say.
Vale.
So I was reading Medina Sidonia was a capital of the Andalusian confectionery world, and the fame of its alfajores was not limited to borders, spreading across all the civilized countries of the time. So much so that today it can be found in many different countries, especially in Latin America, which has been given rise to different types of alfajores. But they are all derived from the original one, which is the one that has been handed over to you. 3 minutes. The alfajor from Medina Sidonia is not only a delicacy, but it's a nutrient-rich natural product which was consumed in the Middle Ages as a food supplement. In other words, it's the oldest energy bar in the world.
Está gustando a la gente. Me hacen gestos.
What about it? Do
de
you
que le
like it?
gusta. Yes?
Very good.
Di que es halal, ¿eh?
Yeah, it's halal. It's halal.
Thank you.
Thanks to tradition, this sweet confection has been preserved through the generations, from parents to their children, with the same unchanged recipe for centuries. Bited into one transports us to an earlier time made up of pure bee's honey, sugar, almonds, breadcrumbs, flour, hazelnut, sesame seeds, aniseed, coriander, cinnamon, and cloves. It's malleable, and the way it's gonna look like, where is the controller? That's important. Okay, finally, moving on to a related subject, and it's not on the presentation, I'm just letting you know now. I'll add something else that's important for us and for Noor. There is a coming product in which Noor is already collaborating. To anticipate what product, I'll formulate these questions for you. Did you know that the Kingdom of Spain has the second largest life expectancy in the world, with 82 years? The first one is Italy, a little country, San Marino, and Japan. Italy, Spain, and San Marino shares one thing.
is a Mediterranean diet, which is, by the way, based on the olive oil consumption. Olive oil, very important. Did you know that olive oil is the most similar natural product to the breast milk? That's important because the breast milk is that milk that babies drink from their mothers. So in nature, there hasn't been found any other product like the olive oil. And Spain is the world's main producer, with 60% of the total production of olive oil. So as you can imagine from my words, Noor is involved in a new product that has to do with the olive oil. And it will be the first extra virgin olive oil becoming halal and ecological under a certified protected designation of origin. It's called PDO. This is from Montoro, Adamuz. It will be produced very close to Cordoba. In Montoro, it's only 30 minutes away from Cordoba. And the important thing is that Noor is already collaborating in that. So this is the end, like the famous song from The Doors. We hope you have enjoyed this cooking session as well as the alfajor. And I would like to thank Paco and the people who made possible this event. Vasil, Noor, Laura, Leah, and Vicky. Some more that you don't see it, but they are behind the stage and they are working very hard. They pay attention to every detail.
Y Instituto Halal en España.
And of course, the Halal Institute in Spain, who made possible we are here now. So thank you very much and enjoy this cooking session.
Thank you very much, Chef Paco Morales and also Mr. Ramirez for the exciting session. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will now like to open up the floor for any question. We just limit until 1 until 2 questions. So if you have a question, kindly raise your hand and you will be handed a mic for your convenience, or just go through to the mic located around this room. Do feel free, introduce yourself and your organization that you represent, and before directing your question to our respective speakers, please.
Any question?
Any question? Anyone?
No question. It's okay.
Dice que te quiere ver cocinar.
Ah, sí, cocinar. No, dile que no hay fuego.
We weren't allowed to bring a fire or gas or anything like that. That's a problem.
Dile que tiene que venir a España a vernos cocinar.
You have to go to Spain and see us.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Dile que muchas gracias por su atención igualmente y su paciencia.
My name is Pungki Sumadi. I'm from the National Development Planning Agency from Indonesia. What is the biggest challenge of you promoting the halal food in the Western countries, especially when, for example, a country like Spain has a majority is a Christian population there? And
dice que cuál es el mejor talento de España haciendo comida halal en el hemisferio oeste. Go ahead.
Dile.
I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Dile que, a ver, de alguna manera, por la circunstancia que fuera, ha estado muchos años tapado a nivel cultural, a nivel social, el tema de, ya no solo halal, sino a nivel cultural, ¿no? Del resto de las religiones, ¿no? En este caso.
The Muslim culinary culture was somehow forgotten and even denied. It was like a taboo to talk about the Muslim cooking in Spain.
Gracias al Instituto Halal, que se dedican a certificar, entre otras cosas.
Thanks to the Halal Institute, they are here.
Se han dedicado a ordenar y a certificar y a controlar, ¿no? Un poco.
They are trying to put in order all this information, all this culture from the Islamic world, and we are being helped by them. For example, I'll give you some information that you will realize how important this was. For example, the cilantro.
Siglo
coriander.
XV, claro, en el siglo XV se consumíamos
Coriander.
todas las culturas que habitábamos.
When the Muslims were in Spain, they used to use coriander for food. And after that, if you go to Spain, you won't find anything with coriander.
Después
And why
de eso,
was that? Because it was considered a taboo. It was Moorish. It was Islamic. And it was something that there were even books saying that the coriander was bad for your health.
cuidado,
In Spanish.
nosotros somos cristianos,
We are Christians,
pero es un tema cultural y el resto de culturas, al final.
yeah, it's a cultural thing, and it's a way of understanding things.
Teníamos muchas maneras de hacer nur, muchos
Yeah.
caminos,
That we had many ways to create nur,
pero nos parecía muy interesante destapar, enseñar
but,
todo lo que había y hay.
but it was interesting to uncover all what's there and all that it was there too.
Ya.
All right, thank you. Is there any question?
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Bayu, from journalist from Jawa Pos Media in Indonesia.
Nice to meet you.
I want to ask about the prospect about halal food business in around Europe. Can you explain that?
Yeah.
Bueno, a tanto no llego, dile. Toda Europa es grande, pero bueno, sí que
He'll try to do his best.
sí que está claro que hay un turismo musulmán bastante importante en Europa.
Yeah, there is a very important Muslim tourism in Europe, which is growing.
Y entendíamos en Córdoba que no hay restaurante halal.
In Córdoba, you don't find halal restaurants,
Entendíamos que podía ser una oportunidad de negocio
and it's actually a business opportunity.
y atender a todas las personas que van a Córdoba a visitar Medina Zahara, Mezquita, etc., poder tener un restaurante que estuviera a la altura del tema histórico que hay en la ciudad, ¿no?
Yeah, and to make possible a restaurant to attend this tourism, Muslim tourism, that as time goes by, visit the city of Córdoba.
Cuidado, en nuestro caso no limitamos a las personas que vengan.
Yeah,
No solo somos halal, que somos halal, ¿vale? Pero por eso gastamos mucho dinero privado en I+D y en creatividad.
we are not only a halal restaurant.
Yeah.
We are able to attend that type of diner, but we also give other foods and invest a lot of research money to be able to do it. It's not only a halal restaurant.
¿Ok?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ramirez and also Chef Paco Morales. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your question.